Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today. Chapter 21. Full Recovery of Strength. I'll buy a bottle first to try out the effects. Lin Yuan set the quantity of the advanced nutritional supplement to 1. Then he clicked to purchase. A bottle of the advanced nutritional supplement cost 200,000. That's equivalent to the income of an ordinary citizen for 10 years without eating or drinking. Moreover, nutritional supplements of advanced quality count as restricted resources. Had Lin Yuan not been promoted to a second-level citizen, let alone buying, he wouldn't have even seen this option. At my current strength level, I'm probably considered a pre-rank evolver? After purchasing the advanced nutritional supplement, Lin Yuan began to evaluate himself. According to the Cosmic Human Alliance's different standards for evolvers of each rank, the innate realm in martial Tao just barely meets the threshold for an evolver. That is to say, he's at the pre-rank level. Of course, realm is realm and combat power is combat power. The two should not be confused. With the capabilities Lin Yuan possessed in the free and unfettered realm, he could exert 100% effectiveness with just 10% of his strength. Even though he was just at the pre-rank level, he could easily overwhelm and beat down an ordinary evolver who had entered the first rank. In the first rank of evolvers, which is divided into 12 segments, if I could return to full strength, I'm probably between the 10th and 12th segment. Lin Yuan speculated in his mind. Purely in terms of destructive power, the Grandmaster realm is equivalent to the first rank, segments 1 to 3, the Great Grandmaster realm to segments 4 to 6, and the Mythical realm to segments 7 to 9. The free and unfettered realm, I guess, is almost reaching the limit of the first rank, approaching the second layer level. A true second layer evolver, though not reaching the city destroyer grade, wouldn't take much time to destroy a city without the obstruction of another evolver of the same level or technological weapons. With a casual blow, they could easily demolish skyscrapers hundreds to thousands of meters tall. Such restricted resources as advanced evolution fluid definitely needed to be allocated from other megacities, and it would take at least half a day to a full day before they would arrive in Lin Yuan's hands. While waiting, Lin Yuan planned to buy a house. More precisely, a cultivation site. The room he currently lived in was too cramped and fragile. Sometimes, Lin Yuan was worried that even stretching might cause it to collapse. The most crucial point was that occasionally, Lin Yuan needed sufficient space to verify his martial arts. Moreover, as an evolver, he also needed private space. His current residence clearly didn't meet the requirements. Shueiyue Residential Complex. After browsing online for a while, Lin Yuan chose this residential complex. The Shueiyue Residential Complex belonged to the luxury real estate area of Dongning City and had just been launched for sale recently. Located in the suburbs. In the interstellar era, the true upper-class elites actually preferred not to live in the city center. Therefore, high-end residential complexes like the Shueiyue Residential Complex, located in the suburbs close to nature and emphasizing the environment, have always been popular. Lin Yuan glanced at the prices of the real estate in the Shueiyue Residential Complex. They ranged from 10 to 15 million. Furthermore, second-level citizens could purchase at half price. To Lin Yuan, this was not surprising. In human civilization of the Cosmic Human Alliance, it is normal for higher-ranked citizens to enjoy many benefits. After all, citizen rank cannot be inherited, and all current higher-ranked citizens have made real contributions to human civilization without exception. I'll choose this complex. Lin Yuan went out and headed for the suburbs. Half of 10 to 15 million was 5 to 7.5 million, which exceeded Lin Yuan's current savings limit. However, after being promoted to a second-level citizen, Lin Yuan received a credit card from the central bank. He could take an interest-free loan of 20 million alliance dollars. This 20 million alliance dollars only needed to be repaid within 50 years. It was also one of the covert benefits for second-level citizens. As a second-level citizen, earning a few million a year was a breeze, and 20 million would only take about 7 or 8 years at most. It wasn't a high-risk loan. Soon, Lin Yuan arrived at the sales center of the Shuiwei residential complex. Not many citizens were here, but without exception, they all had an extraordinary demeanor, belonging to the true elite. After all, ordinary citizens rarely visited such a luxury real estate priced at 1 to 2 million. Lin Yuan, despite being dressed ordinarily, was not ignored. A staff member immediately stepped forward to greet him. "Good day, sir. What kind of house are you looking for?" The staff member was a girl with red lips and white teeth, large eyes, and a tall figure, dressed in a slightly tight uniform that faintly outlined her curves. A larger one, a quieter one. Lin Yuan reiterated his needs. Yes, yes, yes. As the conversation progressed, Anna's heart grew heavier. She glanced at the young man in front of her, who was not yet 20. Could he really be here to buy a house? It wasn't that Anna was looking down on Lin Yuan. It's just that among those who came here to inquire, 9 out of 10 were just asking, and only one might have a bit of intent to purchase. It was quite normal, after all. Anything involving tens of millions needed to be considered carefully. But the tone in which Lin Yuan was inquiring didn't seem to be just casual questions. With this thought in mind, Anna immediately perked up, and the distance between her and Lin Yuan decreased considerably, almost sticking close to him. "I'll take this one." After looking for a while, Lin Yuan finally made up his mind. This house had 3 floors, above and below. Rather than being a house, it was more like a manor, with its own yard and even an underground training facility. "Really buying?" Anna was overjoyed in her heart. "Sir, do you need to apply for a loan?" Anna asked cautiously. "No need." Lin Yuan shook his head. Applying for a loan involved interest, but with that credit card from the central bank, he could get an interest-free loan. For second-level citizens, there should be a 50% discount on housing purchases, right? Lin Yuan inquired. "Indeed, we at the Shuiwei." Anna replied routinely, only she stopped midway, stunned. "Sir, you're a second-level citizen." Anna's voice trembled slightly. She'd seen many wealthy buyers here, but second-level citizens or higher were extremely rare. The main reason was that there were only so many second-level citizens in Dongning City, and their numbers were too few. "Sir, please wait a moment while I call our manager." Anna apologized several times before welcoming Lin Yuan into the VIP room, the rest area of the sales office. Zhao Qiwu took a sip of water and immediately stepped out. She had paid a hefty price for the opportunity to work part-time here. For sales ladies at high-end properties like the Shuiwei residential complex, looks and figure were just the basic requirements. Having a friendly demeanor and client service skills were extremely important. They had to make sure the customers felt no displeasure while also getting them to willingly part with their money. "I don't know when I'll be able to sell a unit." Zhao Qiwu sighed. She glanced up casually. Isn't that Lin Yuan?" Zhao Qiwu immediately noticed Lin Yuan, who was talking to Anna. "What's he doing here?" Zhao Qiwu was full of confusion. She and Lin Yuan were classmates, and although they didn't interact much, she was aware of the general financial situation of each other's families. Logically, with Lin Yuan's family background, he absolutely couldn't afford a house in the Shuiwei residential complex. Could he just be here to look around? Zhao Qiwu speculated in her mind. She had no intention of greeting him. For one, they were classmates, and it would be somewhat awkward to meet in this setting. Secondly, since Anna had already stepped forward, her doing so would seem suspiciously like poaching a client. Even in Zhao Qiwu's heart, Lin Yuan, this client, simply didn't have the financial strength to buy a house. However, what happened next made Zhao Qiwu's eyes widen. Firstly, she didn't know what Lin Yuan said to Anna, But he was then led by her into the VIP room with great respect. My goodness, that was the VIP room. Normally, you'd only be invited there after a financial check, and if your bank deposit were over 20 million with sufficient purchasing power. Zhao Qiwu couldn't for the life of her figure out why Lin Yuan was invited into the VIP room. If it weren't for the fact that Anna was a senior employee here, who would never make such a rookie mistake, Zhao Qiwu would have couldn't help but step in to stop it. However, just when Zhao Qiwu hadn't snapped out of it, a dignified middle-aged man hurried over and entered that VIP room. Before entering, the middle-aged man stopped to knock on the door patiently. Mr. Wang. Seeing this, Zhao Qiwu swallowed hard. Mr. Wang was the manager of the sales office and was rumored to have strong connections with several senior officials in Dongning City. Given Mr. Wang's status, he hardly met with customers anymore. Even ones with purchasing power had difficulty getting an audience with Mr. Wang. Let alone Mr. Wang coming over in such a humble manner. Could it be that I saw wrong? At this point, Zhao Qiwu began to doubt her own eyesight. That absolutely couldn't be Lin Yuan but someone who bore a resemblance to Lin Yuan who was some big shot. But would such a big shot wear such shabby clothes? And that outfit, Zhao Qiwu remembered. Lin Yuan had worn it at school too, hadn't he? Could there really be such coincidences in the world? With her mind full of doubts, Zhao Qiwu decided to wait outside. A moment later, Zhao Qiwu saw Lin Yuan being escorted out respectfully by Mr. Wang. Then under Mr. Wang's personal guidance, they went to the back of the residential complex to view the houses. It really is Lin Yuan. This time Zhao Qiwu looked very carefully. She was certain that the young man walking in front of Mr. Wang was indeed her classmate. What are you looking at? Why are you staring at the client like that? How were you taught? At that moment, Anna walked up beside her and frowned at Zhao Qiwu. Sister Anna, I'm just curious. What kind of person is he that even Mr. Wang? Zhao Qiwu stopped herself before saying, acts like a grandson. But her meaning was clear enough. Mr. Lin is an important guest of our Shuiwei group. Don't refer to him as that person. Otherwise, if the manager finds out, he won't let you off, Anna said, giving Zhao Qiwu a sharp look. Also, don't inquire into the guest's information. That's also a company policy. You understand? Yes, I understand, Zhao Qiwu said, her complexion turning slightly pale. Anna had brought up the company policy, clearly indicating that Lin Yuan's true identity was far beyond what someone like her could comprehend. The environment is quite nice. In the basement training room of house number 32 in the Shuiwei residential complex, Lin Yuan showed a satisfied expression. You get what you pay for, and this place indeed met his standards well. Right? I need to change the address. As if he thought of something, Lin Yuan opened the shopping app and changed the delivery address of the advanced nutrition supplement he had purchased to his current address. Half a day later, a stranger arrived at the Shuiwei residential complex, stopping in front of Lin Yuan's residence. Hello, Mr. Lin. Here's the item you ordered. You can open it with your fingerprint. Lin Yuan took the sealed alloy box handed over by the man, and his fingers slid over the top of the box. Beep! Fingerprint verification passed. An electronic synthesized voice sounded, and the alloy box opened to reveal a 10-centimeter long test tube. Inside the test tube was a sky blue liquid. It's truly worthy of being an advanced nutrition supplement costing 200,000 yuan per dose, Lin Yuan said with a smile on his face. Gurgle. Lin Yuan opened up the advanced nutrition supplement and drank it down. Instantly, he felt a burning sensation start to spread throughout his limbs and body. The terrifying force nearly burst his body open in all directions. Refine. Lin Yuan sat down with his legs crossed. Suddenly, the terrifying heat flowed rapidly into his body, being refined continuously. An hour later, Lin Yuan opened his eyes, which were utterly still and silent. Entered the Grand Master Realm? Lin Yuan's eyes sparkled as he felt his vital energy and inner qi rise significantly within his body. I'll probably need about 20 more bottles to fully recover my strength. Assured that the advanced nutrition supplement was effective, Lin Yuan did not hesitate to buy another 20 bottles. 2 days later, Lin Yuan had digested and absorbed all 20 bottles of advanced nutrition supplement, and his strength was fully restored. Chapter 22 Evolvers Association, Chance Encounter. Shuiwei Residential Complex, Residence Number 32. Underground Training Room. Now, there isn't any sense of oppression. Lin Yuan sat cross-legged, his eyes deep, thinking to himself. In the martial world, after he had stepped into the free and unfettered realm, he had sensed an oppression coming from the unknown. It felt as if he were a beached whale, uncomfortable all over. But now he felt none of that. Is it because of the different limits of the world? Lin Yuan speculated in his mind. The upper limit of the martial world was clearly much lower than that of the main world. This could be seen from the great disparity in the flow of time. Lin Yuan had reached an unprecedented level, the free and unfettered realm. In the martial world, perhaps approaching the real limit, he would be suppressed and repelled by the world. But in the main world, even if it wasn't a start, he still had a long way to go before reaching the true limit of the world. At least Lin Yuan knew that those truly powerful evolvers in the Cosmic Human Alliance could easily traverse the starry sky with their physical bodies and extinguish stars in the blink of an eye. In the 2 million plus years of the Starry Sea era, human civilization had been able to step out of their mother planet, sweep away different species from all directions, and occupy vast and boundless domains, not just because of the unified scheduling by 3 ultimate intelligent goddesses of wisdom, but also through the indelible contributions of extremely powerful individual evolvers. Having restored all his strength, Lin Yuan quickly adapted and then connected to the virtual world. These past few days, aside from refining advanced nutrition fluids, Lin Yuan would occasionally enter the virtual world to explore. Songlan Star Virtual World, Residential Area. Lin Yuan's figure appeared on a street. People passed by him from time to time. In the corner, the seats occasionally gathered a few figures who chatted leisurely. At a glance, this residential street had at least dozens of figures. Lin Yuan was no longer surprised by this. Although it was said that ordinary people did not have access to the virtual world, the population base of Songlan Star reached as high as 50 billion. Even if one second-level citizen emerged from every 50 million citizens, the total number of second-level citizens on Songlan Star would exceed 100,000. In fact, one second-level citizen generally emerged from every 200,000 or 300,000 people. The true number of second-level citizens on Songlan Star was nearing 300,000. And this was only the second-level citizens. Evolvers also had access to the virtual world. The number of evolvers was far greater than that of second-level citizens. After all, becoming an evolver could be achieved through various means. Normal, abnormal, mutated, inherited, and so forth. Of course, while the number of evolvers was high relative to second-level citizens, compared to regular citizens, evolvers were still extremely rare, averaging 1 in several thousand. Lin Yuan casually entered a bar in the residential area, sat in a corner, and ordered a mixed drink. This tactility. Lin Yuan took a sip, his expression slightly amazed. If he wasn't acutely aware of his external body, Lin Yuan might have thought he had come to the real world. No wonder the goddess of wisdom restricts access to the virtual world. Such clear sensory simulation must be built on a giant server, and if everyone could connect, the cost would be terrifyingly high. Lin Yuan sat in the bar for a while, then exited the virtual world. Now that my strength is restored, I should go to the Evolvers Association right away, to register and get my Evolver's certificate. The Cosmic Human Alliance closely regulates Evolvers. Even those not yet advanced must register as soon as possible. Thinking this, Lin Yuan immediately contacted the local Evolvers Association in the city to schedule his registration for the following day. For official organizations like the Evolvers Association, it is best to make an appointment in advance. The next day, Lin Yuan returned home. In recent days, using the excuse that he needed to receive training for becoming an evolver, Lin Yuan hadn't stayed at home. At the dinner table, his mother Lu Qiong seemed to remember something and said, "Xiaoyuan, aren't you an evolver now?" Old Lin loves to show off and has already mentioned it in the family group. A few relatives heard about it and want to organize a family banquet to get together and celebrate, and to see you. That family group. Lin Yuan glanced at his father, Lin Shouqing. In the interstellar era, the concept of family clans had long since diminished, but social niceties remained. Lin Yuan becoming an evolver was a major event that transcended class barriers, far more significant than getting admitted to any top university. Being admitted to a top university didn't guarantee standing out. Millions graduated every year, but how many actually found satisfactory jobs? But evolvers were different. Even just starting evolvers were highly sought after by numerous corporate conglomerates with high salaries. If one day he happened to advance further as an evolver, it would be like a carp leaping through the dragon's gate. Previously, Lin Yuan's family was just an ordinary one, rather insignificant among relatives. But now that Lin Yuan had become an evolver, everything had changed. No one could guarantee that they wouldn't need the help of Lin Yuan, the evolver, someday. Sometimes, asking for help wasn't shameful. What was shameful was not having anyone to ask for help. Mr. Nian had helped me before. He wants everyone to gather, and I couldn't refuse. Father Lin Shouqing gave a rueful smile. He had merely boasted a bit in the group chat. Little did he think someone would actually take it seriously. "It's okay. I'll be there for the family banquet." Lin Yuan knew what his parents meant. They were just worried he might be too busy to attend. If Lin Yuan, the protagonist, weren't there, what would be the point of holding the banquet? Family banquet? What family banquet? Will there be good food? His sister, Lin Yi, suddenly perked up, her eyes twinkling as she asked. After dinner, he left home. Lin Yuan planned to go to the Evolvers Association to collect his certificate. Before he had walked far, Lin Yuan received a phone call. "Is this Mr. Lin Yuan?" The voice on the other end was a careful female voice. "It is." Lin Yuan nodded. "I'm from the Evolvers Association. Mr. Lin Yuan, you applied for registration today." At the time, I didn't realize Mr. Lin Yuan was a second-tier citizen, so I didn't make it clear. According to the association's rules, any second-tier citizen coming in must be picked up personally. The female voice on the phone was almost frantic. In Dongning City, the second-tier citizens were few and all known by the president of the association, who dealt with their affairs directly. She, a minor staff member, had never dealt with second-tier citizens. When she received Lin Yuan's application yesterday, she was busy with other matters and didn't think much about it. But when inputting Lin Yuan's citizen number this morning, she was shocked to find out he was a second-tier citizen. Because of this, her supervisor noticed and inquired if the second-tier citizen had any special requirements, insisting that they be fully accommodated. "It's all right." Lin Yuan shook his head. It hadn't cost him anything. "Where is Mr. Lin now? I'll send someone to pick you up immediately." The woman on the phone finally breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that if Lin Yuan had been unhappy with her service, she would undoubtedly have been fired the next day, and the reason would have been included in her record. At that point, no corporate group would be willing to hire her, as taking a light view of a high-ranking citizen was a serious infraction anywhere. "I am currently at..." Lin Yuan hesitated, then decided to reveal his location. Having someone pick him up was convenient and would also save him some cab fare. After hanging up, Lin Yuan found a nearby coffee shop to wait. However, it wasn't long before a voice suddenly came from the side. "Lin Yuan, what are you doing here?" Chapter 23 Warning. Lin Yuan turned around and saw a tall and burly boy running over. It was Du Quan, Lin Yuan's desk mate and good friend at school. Du Quan jogged over and grabbed Lin Yuan's shoulder. "Where have you been for the past half-month?" "When I asked Mrs. Liu, she just said you were busy." Lin Yuan smiled but didn't speak. Not minding too much, Du Quan suddenly looked surprised and felt Lin Yuan's shoulders and chest with his hand. "Haven't seen you for half a month and you seem to have gotten a lot stronger, brother?" Du Quan clicked his tongue in wonder. "Really?" Lin Yuan wasn't surprised. After all, Not long ago, Lin Yuan had just refined 21 bottles of advanced nutrient fluid. According to the conservation of energy, even though most of the energy from the 21 bottles of advanced nutrient fluid was transformed into primordial qi and spirit, the physical body still experienced some impact, more or less. This was only because the martial path, evolutionary path that Lin Yuan had created emphasized stealth and containment. Had it been another evolver following a different evolutionary path who rashly absorbed so much energy, to say that their height would shoot up significantly and they'd become as robust as an ox would be an understatement, compared to Lin Yuan, who simply looked somewhat stronger. After expressing his amazement, Du Quan immediately pointed towards several people approaching. "Look who's here." Lin Yuan glanced over and recognized that these people were classmates from his class. Just finished graduation, so came out to hang out.
Du Quan ét.
He had originally wanted to invite Lin Yuan too, but since Lin Yuan wasn't at home, he had no choice but to leave him out. At this moment, those people also came closer. "Lin Yuan, what are you doing here? Waiting for someone?" A scholarly-looking guy with glasses asked casually. "You're Lin Yuan, huh? Haven't seen you for a few days. You seem to have changed a lot." A girl sized up Lin Yuan and commented in slight surprise. "Hello, everyone." Lin Yuan symbolically greeted as everyone gathered. In fact, the original personality was very quiet and reserved. If it wasn't for Du Quan, he would not have hung out with these people at all. Among these people there were mainly two groups. The first was led by Chu Shiyu, the scholarly-looking guy with glasses. Chu Shiyu came from a well-off family and was academically gifted. So many classmates liked to be close to him. The other group was led by Hua Qingyao, who had an extraordinary background with elders holding positions in the military. He was fearless at school. As for Du Quan, he was good at networking and could mingle well on both sides. On top of that, he was known for being fair and just, so both Chu Shiyu and Hua Qingyao gave him face. Besides, several girls were also present. "Lin Yuan, look who this is, our class beauty who was admitted to a prestigious institution. I invited her over this time too. My brother has some clout, huh?" Du Quan pointed toward a tall girl and said proudly. This girl had a delicate face, and her simple jeans outlined her shapely legs and rounded hips. It was Zhao Qiwu. Lin Yuan. Zhao Qiwu was incredibly unsettled. Ever since she saw Lin Yuan, initially an unremarkable presence, being respectfully welcomed into the VIP room at Shuiwei Residential Complex's sales office, and watching him directly purchase a house worth over 10 million yuan, while even Mr. Wang stood by reverently, Zhao Qiwu realized that Lin Yuan's identity was no simple matter. All the classmates and even the whole school were deceived by Lin Yuan. Her agreement to join Du Quan's invitation was also because Du Quan usually had the best relationship with Lin Yuan. Perhaps Lin Yuan would attend. Otherwise, with her character, how could she possibly participate in such a meaningless gathering? But after arriving and finding Lin Yuan absent, just as she felt disappointed, she saw Lin Yuan, which caused her emotions to fluctuate greatly, leaving her somewhat disoriented. "Hello, Lin Yuan." Zhao Qiwu composed herself and took the initiative to reach out her right hand towards Lin Yuan. This surprised Du Quan, who was standing nearby, as Zhao Qiwu was known to be aloof, even ignoring the likes of Hua Qingyao and Chu Shiyu. So why would she take the initiative to shake hands with Lin Yuan? "Hello." Lin Yuan extended his hand in return as a courtesy. After some small talk, they spontaneously found a place to sit down. Chu Shiyu called over a staff member to order everyone a cup of the coffee shop's signature coffee. "Yuga is always so generous."
Du Quan flattered beside him.
This shop's signature coffee was not cheap, nearly 30 yuan a cup, and the total for everyone added up to over 200. A significant amount compared to the living expenses for half a month in school. Once seated, they began to chat casually. "This college entrance exam, I didn't do well, ended up in a third-rate university. Not sure what I'm going to do after graduating."
The girl sighed.
"Isn't that easy? Aren't you close with Yuga? After graduating, just go work at his family's business."
Du Quan joked.
"You?" The girl pretended to be upset. but her heart was delighted as she sneakily glanced at Chu Shiyu a few times. Du Quan is right, after you graduate you can come to my company. I'll make sure the treatment is generous. Chu Shiyu said generously. He wouldn't pass up this opportunity to show off in front of his classmates. After all, graduation was far away, so the future could be dealt with later. Then, thank you, Yuga. The girl hurriedly thanked him. They sipped their coffee while chatting idly. Soon the conversation shifted to Lin Yuan. Speaking of which, Lin Yuan, you must be on the conscription list, right? Hu Qingyao seemed to remember something and spoke up. As this was mentioned, the atmosphere suddenly went quiet. Everyone's gaze was focused on Lin Yuan. Ordinarily, being conscripted wasn't a bad thing, and they even helped arrange jobs after completing service. Chapter 24. For the average person, this would already be considered a decent outcome. However, this round of conscription was targeted at different species, and due to secrecy concerns, it was highly unlikely that anyone on the conscription list would return. Even if they did not die in battle, seeing them again in their lifetime would be quite difficult. Although the government would provide compensation, the families would be taken care of properly, but one would certainly end up as a sacrifice. It's all rumors and exaggerations. All this talk about different species. In my opinion, these are just little pieces of gossip. Du Quan immediately spoke up. Indeed, the government hasn't mentioned anything publicly, so it might just be a normal recruitment. Right, Lin Yuan? Don't take it too seriously. Maybe after you retire, you could be called back to take a post in the military region. Several people began comforting Lin Yuan. Of course, it was just to comfort him. In reality, no one was optimistic about this conscription. Even though the government had not explicitly stated the purpose of this conscription, the compensation for all those on the conscription list had already been put in place. This wasn't a secret. Anyone slightly diligent could find out about it. After all, if this were just a normal recruitment, why would so much compensation be offered? Actually, there might be a way out. My elder uncle works in the military region, and I'll ask him tonight if he could make some flexible arrangements. Hu Qingyao then spoke up. He was the only one present with a military region background, and the most confident person to make such a statement. Then I'll have to trouble Brother Yao. Upon hearing this, Du Quan immediately responded. This time it wasn't flattery, but a sincere expression of gratitude. As a classmate and friend for so many years, he didn't want Lin Yuan to embark on a point of no return. The other people present, especially the females, their eyes suddenly lit up upon hearing Hu Qingyao's words. Hu Qingyao's statement carried many implications, the most obvious being the possibility to influence the conscription list, which was a significant connection to have. Compared to this, Chu Shiyu, who had just promised to help with arranging a job, seemed rather insignificant. Just a job, how could it be compared to Hu Qingyao, who might influence recruitment within the military region? For a moment, other than Zhao Qiwu, the few women at the scene, including the one who had wanted Chu Shiyu to arrange a job, began to draw closer to Hu Qingyao. Lin Yuan, sitting aside, found Hu Qingyao's chest-thumping manner not only unoffensive but somewhat amusing. The conscription list, being vetted by the goddess of wisdom, was it something that could just be changed on a whim? Yet, Hu Qingyao was ultimately trying to help him, even if the nature of that help was his attempt to outshine Chu Shiyu. At Lin Yuan's level, the overt and covert struggles between Hu Qingyao and Chu Shiyu were like child's play, laughable. It's about time. I should go now. Someone is waiting for me. Lin Yuan glanced at the time, stood up to say his farewells. Immediately, without waiting for anyone's agreement, he left the coffee shop and walked towards the roadside. Ha! The people at the site frowned upon seeing this. Especially Hu Qingyao, who had promised to ask his uncle, and though he had not guaranteed anything, the least Lin Yuan could do was to express his thanks. However, Lin Yuan said nothing and just sat there, now using any excuse to leave. Such impolite behavior left Hu Qingyao somewhat resentful. This guy! Hu Qingyao, looking through the glass of the coffee shop at Lin Yuan's retreating figure, was about to say something. Just then, a sleek black, streamlined hover car pulled up at the curb. To be precise, it stopped in front of Lin Yuan. That hover car's license plate? Chu Xiu also noticed it, and his focus immediately concentrated on the license plate. Although his family didn't have military background, they often dealt with the government, and he immediately recognized the license plate of the black hovercar as government exclusive. With this kind of license plate, one could enter special roads. Not only was the distance shorter, but it also avoided the possibility of traffic jams. However, these kind of specially supplied hovercars were generally only used to transport important figures. Why was it stopping in front of Lin Yuan now? It must be a coincidence. Definitely a coincidence. Chu Xiu couldn't help thinking in his mind. Yet following that, under everyone's gaze, a tall man stepped out from the black hovercar and respectfully ushered Lin Yuan into the vehicle. The crowd at the scene fell silent once more. They had originally thought that Lin Yuan's statement that someone was waiting for him was just a made-up excuse. But unexpectedly, it was true, and the person waiting for him was driving a government-supplied vehicle. This license plate belongs to the Evolvers Association. I've seen this kind of plate before when I followed my uncle to the association for errands. Chu Xiu seemed to have realized something and spoke again. Evolvers Association. Hua Qingyao's expression changed slightly. Among the many government departments, the Evolvers Association was undoubtedly one of the toughest to deal with. They managed the Evolver community, were exceptionally assertive and very influential. Simply put, why would the assertive Evolvers Association send a special car to pick up Lin Yuan, who was just a student? Everyone was filled with doubts. This made no sense at all. Ha ha ha. Maybe there's some cooperation between the military district and the Evolvers Association. Hua Qingyao racked his brains and gave this reason. Perhaps. It's the only possibility. Hearing this, the others nodded slightly. Although the explanation was extremely absurd, the Evolvers Association and military district have always been separate systems. What else could they collaborate on? However, it was the only explanation that made sense of the current situation. After all, Lin Yuan was on the military conscription list, and the only connection to the Evolvers Association could be through the military districts behind the conscription. A few days ago, I revisited the conscription notice and found that Lin Yuan's name was no longer on the conscription list. At this moment, the previously silent Zhao Qiwu suddenly spoke up. As soon as these words were said, everyone was momentarily stunned. Especially Hua Qingyao, his expression completely stiffened. He wasn't a fool. He knew how difficult it was to be removed from the conscription list, especially with this kind of mandatory conscription. Though he had said with confidence that he would inquire with his uncle upon returning, it was more a matter of routine. He guessed his uncle wouldn't have much of a way to help. Even if there was a way, the cost would be horrifying, certainly not something one would pay for an outsider. But now, Lin Yuan's name had truly been removed from the list? Impossible. I must inquire with the goddess of wisdom. Hua Qingyao immediately linked to the network and, upon discovering Lin Yuan's name was gone from the list, began to initiate a connection with the goddess of wisdom to inquire why Lin Yuan was exempted from conscription. The next moment, a solemn and grave female voice rang directly in Hua Qingyao's ear. Warning, first-class citizen Hua Qingyao. You are inquiring into content beyond your authority, suspected of violating Charter Article 560. This is your first warning. If you continue to inquire, you will be sent to the highest court for trial. Hearing the goddess of wisdom's chilling warning, Hua Qingyao turned pale with fear and fell to the ground with a thud. The highest court of the Cosmic Human Alliance had always been where those who committed heinous crimes were judged, with every case tried there being of major significance and resulting in a severely adverse impact. What abilities did he, Hua Qingyao, have to warrant the highest court taking time to judge him? Hua Qingyao's teeth chattered, and his legs shook uncontrollably. Chapter 25 Assessment. Hua Qingyao was now extremely frightened. As one of the three ultimate intelligence goddesses of the Cosmic Human Alliance, the goddess of wisdom's authority could be considered one of the highest. Even the exalted Star Lords were reverent and cautious in front of the three goddesses, daring not to show a hint of impatience, for fear of lowering their evaluation in the eyes of the goddesses. Now that the goddess of wisdom had personally descended into her main consciousness to issue a stern warning, Hua Qingyao felt as if the sky had fallen. Ah! Hua Qingyao had not recovered from the shock when he heard Chu Shiyu's face suddenly turn pale beside him. His level of horror was no less than Hua Qingyao's. "Did you also check Lin Yuan's information?" Hua Qingyao asked. He suddenly turned his head to look at the other students and warned, "You mustn't go looking up Lin Yuan's personal information." If even he had been warned by the goddess of wisdom for checking Lin Yuan's personal information, then it went without saying for the others. They were all classmates, and their relationship was not at the point of being terrible. There was no need to watch one another get warned by the goddess of wisdom. Ah? The few girls looked on blankly. Hua Qingyao briefly shared his own experience. What on earth is Lin Yuan's background that his personal information would be encrypted by the goddess of wisdom? Chu Shiyu came to his senses, his expression turning ugly. It is true that in the era of cosmic human civilization, a citizen's personal information is private. But he had only wanted to find out why Lin Yuan's name had been removed from the draft list, and for that, he was warned by the goddess of wisdom? Such a level of protection of personal information is only available to those with rare special talents or high-ranking citizens. Could Lin Yuan be related to these two aspects? No matter what his background is, this time I've lost face completely. Hua Qingyao's face turned slightly red as he had assured everyone just a moment ago, promising that he would ask his uncle to see if he could help Lin Yuan. Yet, it turned out that Lin Yuan didn't need his help at all, his name having been removed from the list long ago. Zhao Qiwu, since you knew so early that Lin Yuan was exempt from the draft, do you know more? Chu Shiyu seemed to think of something and looked towards Zhao Qiwu, who was sitting at the side. The others suddenly brightened up, turning their gazes towards Zhao Qiwu. Indeed, it was Zhao Qiwu who first mentioned that Lin Yuan was no longer on the draft list. Clearly, Zhao Qiwu knew more than they did. I don't know much. Zhao Qiwu shook her head, hesitated for a moment, and then told the truth. It's just that a few days ago, I was working part-time at the sales office of the newly opened Shuiwei residential complex. I saw Lin Yuan there, buying a residence directly. As soon as these words came out, everyone gasped in shock. The Shuiwei residential complex was well known. It had been heavily advertised when it was being developed. It's a true high-end residential community, where the price of any house starts above 10 million. If Zhao Qiwu wasn't lying, Lin Yuan was definitely the wealthiest student in their school. Casually spending 10 million, even Chu Shiyu would find it hard to do unless he used his family connections to borrow money. It wasn't that the Chu family didn't have 10 million in assets, but that Chu Shiyu didn't represent the Chu family. Hua Qingyao and Chu Shiyu exchanged glances, their expressions quite complex. They had competed with each other for 3 years in class, and probably Lin Yuan had been watching it all. Thinking of Lin Yuan's background, it probably seemed as ridiculous as watching a monkey show. Zhao Qiwu glanced at Hua Qingyao and Chu Shiyu, who were looking dejected. There was something else she hadn't mentioned. That Mr. Wang, the manager of the Shuiwei sales office, was as respectful to Lin Yuan as a grandson is to his grandfather. The Shuiwei real estate group was a well-known asset tycoon with markets spanning dozens of cities around, and Mr. Wang had connections with several leaders in Dongning City, yet he behaved in such a way in front of Lin Yuan. Zhao Qiwu shuddered at the thought, realizing she had spent 3 years in the company of such a big shot. If Zhao Qiwu bit her lip lightly, seemingly lost in thought. Could Lin Yuan really have such a significant background? Du Quan was somewhat dazed, having known Lin Yuan for 3 years, and yet now he felt as if he had never truly known him at all. The Evolvers Association. A silent black hovercar glided in. The hovercar stopped, and Lin Yuan stepped down from it. Is this the Evolvers Association? Peculiar expression arose in Lin Yuan's heart. In front of him was a gray building, exceedingly low profile, without even a sign that read Evolvers Association. Are you Mr. Lin Yuan? A woman dressed in a black skirt suit, with a somewhat short hemline ending just above the knee, revealing her fair and slender legs, came running over with small steps to ask tentatively. Yes, that's me. Lin Yuan nodded. Mr. Lin, please come inside. Zhu Qianqian stole a glance at Lin Yuan and immediately led the way. She was the staff member who had failed to enter Lin Yuan's citizen number in time. Because of this, Zhu Qianqian had been under great pressure. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that she was in a constant state of anxiety. If she hadn't received Lin Yuan's forgiveness, she would probably have been fired by her supervisor today. Mr. Lin looked so young. Zhu Qianqian led the way, with another surreptitious glance to the side. Following Zhu Qianqian, Lin Yuan entered the gray building and arrived in front of an elevator. Stepping into the elevator, Zhu Qianqian stood beside Lin Yuan and introduced, Mr. Lin, before registering as an evolver, a test is required. Based on the test results, the evolver certificate will be issued. I'm aware of that. Lin Yuan nodded. The evolver certificate included a specific rank designation, and this could only be determined through a test of strength. Not long after, the two of them took the elevator to the 22nd floor. Ding! The elevator doors opened. Inside were several small rooms. Made of dark gold alloy, they were neatly divided into 2 rows. This is the room for Mr. Lin's assessment, said Zhu Qianqian, leading Lin Yuan to a door at the very end. The assessment is conducted in this room? Lin Yuan raised an eyebrow. Yes and no, replied Zhu Qianqian, nodding her head first then shaking it. She pushed the door open. Inside stood a silver-white metal cabin. This is the virtual world cabin slot. The tests you take, Mr. Lin, will need to happen in the virtual world, Zhu Qianqian said without any suspense. In the virtual world? Lin Yuan looked around the room. Exactly, Zhu Qianqian said with a smile. Powerful evolvers can easily destroy cities and devastate lands. Surely we can't allocate an entire planet for their strength assessment. Therefore, the assessment for evolvers mostly takes place in the virtual world. Zhu Qianqian paused, then continued, Mr. Lin need not worry that his strength in the virtual world will be inconsistent with his real-world strength. This virtual world cabin slot, as long as Mr. Lin lies down in it, can scan the whole body, thus perfectly simulating the physical body, and then synchronize it with Mr. Lin's body in the virtual world. I see. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. Indeed, evolvers vary in strength. The weaker ones, like those who haven't reached a rank or are at the first rank, scales 3 or 4, are manageable. You could use a square for their strength assessment. But for stronger evolvers like Lin Yuan, a casual strike could demolish the gray building beneath his feet. And the even stronger ones, those at the 2nd rank, 3rd rank, or even 4th and 5th ranks. How many resources would it take to test the strength of such powerful evolvers? Therefore, placing the assessment location in the virtual world is the most efficient method. In the virtual world, everything is virtual. Simulating an entire galaxy is no challenge at all. Chapter 26 President. Next, Zhu Qianqian mentioned some precautions to Lin Yuan about using the virtual world cabin slot. Then she respectfully exited the room. Virtual world cabin slot. Lin Yuan carefully observed it for a while before lying down inside. A slight vibration swept over him. Lin Yuan only felt a slight numbness on his skin. Then he heard the voice by his ear. Replication complete. Please connect the evolver to the virtual world. Welcome to the assessment world. When Lin Yuan opened his eyes, he saw a stern man looking at him. Assessment world? Lin Yuan immediately felt his own body. The physical strength, the circulation of Yuan energy within his body, and the spiritual foreign power in the Naiwan Palace in his mind. All had no difference from his body outside. The cosmic human alliance truly is terrifying. Lin Yuan inwardly gasped. Such perfect replication meant that he had no secrets. Not right. The door to the myriad realms hasn't been replicated. Lin Yuan seemed to think of something, his consciousness concentrating deep within his mind. Where the door to the myriad realms should stand, there was nothing but emptiness. Even the cosmic human alliance can't replicate the door to the myriad realms? Or is it that they can't even detect the existence of the door to the myriad realms? Lin Yuan sighed with relief while he couldn't help speculating. Evolver, please choose your assessment scenario. The stern man not far away suddenly spoke. As soon as the voice fell, various scenes appeared in front of Lin Yuan. There were deserts with endless sand, forests dense with ancient trees, cities with towering buildings. The desert will do. Lin Yuan casually chose one. Scene confirmation complete. The stern man waved his hand. The surroundings instantly transformed, and Lin Yuan found himself in the midst of a desert, with sweeping sands and scorching temperatures. Based on the energy fluctuations within the evolver's body, this assessment will start directly from the first rank. First is an opponent of first rank stage 1, and you only qualify for the next assessment if you defeat them. Do you understand? The stern man's gaze serenely met Lin Yuan's. Understood. Lin Yuan nodded. Whoosh! The stern man disappeared. Not far away, large swathes of sand swiftly converged, forming a humanoid figure. This was a tall man with dark skin, and even a fierce black horn growing on his forehead. The Blackhorn man didn't say another word and charged towards Lin Yuan. His speed is a bit faster than the ordinary Grandmaster, but he's no threat to me. Lin Yuan's expression remained unchanged. Following the stern man's indication, the assessment went from weak to strong. The first opponent was at first rank stage 1, and only after defeating him could Lin Yuan face the opponent of first rank stage 2. Crack. Suddenly, the black-horned man stopped, his eyes dimming in an instant, his body dissolving into sand and scattering away. Lin Yuan stood still without having moved an inch. The quickest way to defeat an opponent far weaker than himself was to use spiritual martial arts. With Lin Yuan's strength of spirit, from the free and unfettered realm, he could instantly crush the opponent's spirit and soul. Sigh. The sand condensed once more. Lin Yuan's opponent was still the Blackhorn man. However, this time the Blackhorn man's presence had increased once more, reaching near the Grandmaster peak level. But still, Grandmaster or Great Grandmaster, for Lin Yuan it was just a matter of a glance. Like this, in a few breaths, he faced the 9th opponent. This opponent was still the Blackhorn man. But unlike the previous 8, the gaze of this Blackhorn man was deep, and after forming, he did not immediately attack Lin Yuan. An evolution path akin to a spiritual master? This time I've specifically strengthened my soul defense. I can negate 60% of your spiritual attack methods. The black-horned man's mouth showed a trace of cruel smile. Although he was a life intelligence simulated by a massive amount of data, he also had basic emotions, and being crushed instantly 8 times did not feel good to anyone. After the black-horned man spoke, he once again took large strides forward. But in the next moment, crack, a slender right hand had, at some unknown time, seized his neck, and then with a twist, exerted force. Who told you I only have spiritual attack methods? Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. For evolvers of the martial path evolutionary path, the physical body is always the most fundamental. As for psychic power, it's merely a force born from a strong physique. You are not a psychic masterclass of evolver? The man with the black horns couldn't believe it and immediately transformed back into yellow sand. The psychic masterclass of evolvers possess bizarre psychic attack methods, but indeed have a shortcoming in their physical strength, and even if some powerful psychic masters enhance both evolutionary paths by consuming gene potions, they find it hard to completely erase this disadvantage. Evolvers Association. After Zhu Qianqian exited the assessment room, she returned to her workstation. I wonder at which level Mr. Lin's evolver status will be fixed. Zhu Qianqian was quite curious, staring intently at the screen in front of her. To protect the privacy of evolvers, the battle scenes that occur during the assessment are not allowed to be disclosed to the outside world. Therefore, even internal staff like Zhu Qianqian are not privy to the specific assessment content. They can only gauge how many stages the evolver ultimately passes and which level they are fixed at by the number of light columns that light up on the reality screen. Miss Zhu, has Mr. Lin already gone in? Zhu Qianqian had just sat down for a bit when the president of the Evolvers Association came over. As the president of the Evolvers Association, it was completely unnecessary to pay attention to an Evolver's assessment. It's just that Lin Yuan was not only an Evolver, but also a second-tier citizen. A second-tier citizen, even without an official position, holds a status not much lower than the president. Plus, this second-tier citizen was someone the president of the Evolvers Association had never heard of, so he made a special trip, intending to get to know him after the assessment was complete and to cultivate some connections. No matter the reason, it was certainly no mistake to be on good terms with a second-tier citizen. Ah, President. Zhu Qianqian immediately stood up nervously, stuttering. Mr. Lin. Mr. Lin has already gone in. Don't be nervous. The president of the Evolvers Association was in a good mood. Okay. Zhu Qianqian composed herself and sat down at her station again. Miss Zhu, what level do you think Mr. Lin will be fixed at? The president of the Evolvers Association also became interested and asked casually. Mr. Lin is a second-tier citizen, so since he has come to register, he must have at least first-rank strength. Zhu Qianqian cautiously said. For ordinary people, becoming an evolver is extremely difficult. But in the eyes of high-rank citizens, there are many methods, with the simplest being to buy a bottle of gene potion and follow the genetic warrior evolution path. Although genetic warriors have significant weaknesses, lack potential, and are very reliant on external items, there is no doubt they are also evolvers. Not bad. The president of the Evolvers Association nodded slightly in agreement. He too believed that Lin Yuan definitely had first-rank strength and couldn't possibly still be an unranked evolver. Normally, high-rank citizens are likely to be evolvers, but many weaker ones remain first-tier citizens. In my opinion, Mr. Lin's final ranking will be fixed from first-rank second segment to third segment. The secretary standing beside the president spoke up. This speculation prompted the president of the Evolvers Association to nod again. It's not difficult for high-ranked citizens to become evolvers, but still a threshold exists to becoming a strong evolver. And that threshold lies between the third to the fourth segment at first rank. In the 12 segments of the first rank, each set of 3 is a bottleneck. Advancing from third to fourth segment takes not only hard work and effort but also a certain natural talent. High-ranked citizens may have extraordinary capabilities in other areas, contributing to human civilization and earning recognition from the goddess of wisdom. But the talent for evolution, that's something money cannot buy. Using gene potions can indeed forcefully improve one's strength, but there's a certain risk of death, and high-ranking citizens wouldn't joke with their lives. Zhang has a good point. The president of the Evolvers Association looked approvingly at his secretary. Zhu Qianqian listened on the side, with no objections of her own. Even though she had a good impression of Lin Yuan, strength still spoke for itself. Inform me when Mr. Lin's assessment is over, the president of the Evolvers Association said, preparing to leave. Just at that moment, on the display screen in front of Zhu Qianqian, the first light column suddenly lit up. It seems that Mr. Lin has already started the assessment. Seeing this, the president of the Evolvers Association suddenly didn't want to leave and decided to sit down and wait for Lin Yuan's assessment to end. In the president's view, Lin Yuan, at most, had the strength of first-rank third segment and only needed to pass 3 stages. What happened next, however, left the president of the Evolvers Association stunned. On the display screen, after the first light column lit up, the second light column did so in an instant. It was immediately followed by the third one, then the fourth, then the fifth, until the 12th. It was almost within a few breaths' time. All 12 light columns lit up. And at this point, the president of the Evolvers Association hadn't even fully taken his seat. This is 12th segment? Zhu Qianqian widened her eyes, and the president beside her was also somewhat astonished. Chapter 27, Family Feast. 12 ranks. First rank, 12 ranks? The president of the Evolvers Association was somewhat bewildered. He wasn't surprised by the concept of first rank, 12 ranks itself. Although evolvers at first rank, 12 ranks are powerful, even in the whole Dongning city they belong to the highest tier. But the president of the Evolvers Association had an extraordinary background and had reached his position by seeing even true second-layer evolvers. What shocked the president was that Lin Yuan had the strength of first rank, 12 ranks the first time he came to register. It is known that the transformation of an evolver's strength requires gradual progress. It's impossible to jump from first rank to second layer overnight. The Cosmic Human Alliance has extremely strict standards for categorizing the strengths between ranks of evolvers. The energetic fluctuation inside a second-layer evolver compared to a first-rank evolver differs by more than 100-fold. This large disparity is hard to bridge in a short time. And Lin Yuan had the strength of first rank, 12 ranks the first time he came to register. Upon this, the president of the Evolvers Association made two speculations. One is that Lin Yuan is very reserved. He became an evolver long ago but just didn't come to register, holding back until now, holding back until he achieved the strength of a first rank, 12 ranks. This possibility is not very likely. Given the Human Alliance's control over evolvers, an unregistered evolver who recklessly reveals his strength, if discovered, would be subject to punishment. Even if Lin Yuan, with his second-tier citizen privileges, were to be exempted from punishment, the president of the Evolvers Association would still have been informed. It's impossible that he remained completely unaware until now. The second speculation was that Lin Yuan's evolutive talent was terrifyingly exceptional. From first rank to 12 ranks, it might have taken just a few years or less than a decade. With the Human Alliance's life-extending technology, a first-rank evolver can easily live 500 years. Hence, several years don't count as much. The president of the Evolvers Association leaned towards the second speculation. Compared to the president's calm and analytical thinking, Zhu Qianqian beside him was slightly agape. Good heavens! This was a 12-rank evolver. She, Zhu Qianqian, had been working here for nearly 2 years. It was her first time seeing a 12-rank evolver. In a place like Dongning City, a first-rank, 12-rank evolver was considered the ceiling, comparable in numbers to second-tier citizens, and not someone you could just see casually. And this 12-rank evolver looked no different from an ordinary person like Lin Yuan. This contrast made Zhu Qianqian feel even more incredulous. To know, according to the official published standards of a first-rank, 12-rank evolver's combat power, a single strike could destroy a building tens of meters tall. Thinking of such immense power contained within Lin Yuan's body made Zhu Qianqian perceive it as unfathomable. Let's go. Let's go meet Mr. Lin. The president of the Evolvers Association only took 2 breaths to think. He decided to go to the assessment room in person and wait for Lin Yuan to appear. Initially, the president just intended to meet Lin Yuan and foster good relations. But now, after deducing the terrifying evolutive talent of the other party, the president felt he needed to lower his stance a bit. The assessment room. Lin Yuan opened his eyes and got up from the virtual world cabin slot. Too bad. Lin Yuan shook his head slightly. After defeating his 12th opponent, the assessment space spontaneously materialized an opponent of second-layer caliber. Lin Yuan did not exit but wanted to see how much difference there was between him and those second-layer evolvers. The result was evident. After only enduring 3 moves, Lin Yuan was overwhelmed. Second layer. Flashes of spiritual light suddenly raced through Lin Yuan's mind, and under the boost of his against heaven's understanding, he slowly began to comprehend the path forward. Just through a single battle with a second-layer evolver, he began to comprehend the essence of second layer. If this were known, it's hard to say how many evolvers would be dumbfounded. Compared to Lin Yuan, most other evolvers might as well have not existed at all. But for Lin Yuan, this was common. Under against heaven's understanding, Lin Yuan was constantly in a state of sudden enlightenment. Even without battling a second-layer evolver, figuring out the realm of second layer was inevitable, merely a matter of time. The direction is roughly there. In no more than 5 years, I should be able to break through. A smile appeared on Lin Yuan's face. His visit to the Evolvers Association truly proved worthwhile. Not only did he casually register, but he also illuminated the path ahead. Snap! Lin Yuan pushed the door open. He saw Zhu Qianqian and a middle-aged man standing outside. Mr. Lin, this is our president. Zhu Qianqian immediately began to introduce. The president? Lin Yuan looked at the middle-aged man. The president of the Evolvers Association, undeniably a big shot, probably ranked among the top 5 in all of Dongning City. My surname is Liao. The middle-aged man stepped forward, warmly speaking. Forget the formalities of president or not. I'm merely a few years elder than Mr. Lin. If Mr. Lin doesn't mind, you can simply call me Brother Liao, Mr. Liao said warmly. The two chatted for a while. Lin Yuan then got up to take his leave. Mr. Liao personally escorted Lin Yuan to the door. The next day, Lin Yuan returned home. Be a bit more courteous tomorrow. Although you are now an evolver, you shouldn't appear too indifferent. They are all relatives. Even as an evolver, you need to understand human networks. You might need those relatives' help in the future. Lin Shouqing's mother, Lu Qiong, reminded him while cooking. I understand, Lin Yuan replied. After swiftly finishing the cake his sister made, Lin Yuan turned his attention to the large bag of snacks beside him. The family banquet was set for the next day, when distant relatives of Lin Yuan would come to congratulate him on becoming an evolver and to take the opportunity for a gathering. Lin Yuan naturally remembered this. A few days earlier, his father Lin Shouqing had mentioned it to him. Hey, old Lin, should we book a few tables at the Fanqing Grand Hotel? His mother, Lu Qiong, asked hesitantly. The reason for her hesitation was that the Fanqing Grand Hotel was one of the highest standard hotels in Donghai City, and booking a table there cost as much as several months of Lin Shouqing's salary. Lu Qiong really hesitated to spend that much. Book it. We should definitely book at Fanqing. Lin Shouqing answered without a second thought. This time, Mr. Nian has specifically invited Lin Hao. He's the secretary of a certain bureau director in Dongning City. We can't let Xiaoyuan lose face. Lin Shouqing continued. Lin Hao. Lu Qiong seemed a bit dazed. With Lin Hao's social status, he was in a completely different class from their family. Usually, Lin Shouqing didn't even have the chance to meet Lin Hao. Unexpectedly, due to Lin Yuan becoming an evolver, they had managed to invite this significant figure. Then we really should book at Fanqing. Lu Qiong nodded in agreement. In her simple view, since Lin Hao was willing to make time to come, they should naturally host him well. Spending a bit more money was appropriate. Dongning City. In a luxurious mansion. Chu Shiyu stood there with his head lowered. In front of him sat a bearded man. You went to gather information on your classmate, and you were warned by the main consciousness of the goddess of wisdom? The bearded man asked with a serious expression, repeating his question. Yes, grandfather, I didn't do it on purpose. Chu Shiyu's face turned pale, and his legs trembled slightly. The bearded man sitting before him was the founder of the Chu Corporation. He had suddenly called him over today to inquire why he had been warned by the goddess of wisdom. Chu Shiyu could only answer honestly. Whether it was intentional or not is not important. To be protected by the goddess of wisdom to this extent, your classmate must be someone significant. Although you didn't target him specifically, if he takes it to heart, it could spell trouble. Tomorrow, I will take you to visit your classmate's home. The bearded man decided firmly. It was not without reason that he was so cautious. The severity of the situation had exceeded his expectations. This was the goddess of wisdom, who reigned over the entire cosmic human alliance. Even someone as high-ranking as a Star Lord would tread carefully, let alone the Chu family. Regarding anything related to the goddess of wisdom, one could never be too cautious. Okay. Chu Shiyu braced himself as he responded. In another estate, Hua Qingyao stood upright, video communicating with a man in military uniform whose face showed authority. The goddess of wisdom, your classmate is probably now on the goddess priority watch list. He's bound to have significant developments in the future, the man in military uniform slowly said on the other end of the video call. Significant developments. Hua Qingyao gulped. Hearing such high praise from his uncle indicated that Lin Yuan's future achievements would not be limited by merely Dongning City. You really know how to cause trouble. Well, I'll make a trip for you. Regardless of what developments your classmate will have in the future, first, you two need to smooth things over. The other day, you boasted about manipulating the conscription list, which to anyone with slight discernment, sounded utterly boastful. Tomorrow, I'll take you to apologize to him. We're not seeking friendship, but at least we shouldn't foster enmity, the man in the military uniform said on the video call. At the Evolvers Association, Mr. Liao sat in his chair. Soon, his secretary walked in. Have you figured out the background of that Mr. Lin? Mr. Liao looked up and asked. Chairman, Mr. Lin Yuan's personal information is blocked by the Goddess of Wisdom, and I did not dare to continue investigating, fearing consequences. The secretary directly stated. Blocked by the Goddess? Mr. Liao's face turned serious. For the powerful Goddess of Wisdom to specifically block information about a citizen was unlikely, even if he were a second-rank citizen. There must be other reasons. However, while I couldn't find out more about Mr. Lin Yuan, I did manage to learn about his parents. Mr. Lin's parents are natives of Dongning City, having no significant ties elsewhere. The secretary suddenly mentioned. So, Mr. Lin is also from Dongning City? A glint of sharpness passed through Mr. Liao's eyes. What does the chairman imply? Seeing this, the secretary immediately guessed something and couldn't help but ask. Whether it can be achieved or not, I still have to ask in person. Let's cancel all the plans for tomorrow. I will personally visit Mr. Lin's home to have a detailed discussion, Mr. Liao said gravely. Chapter 28. Visiting. Fanqing Grand Hotel. Early in the morning, Lin Shouqing and his wife were standing at the entrance of the private room. As one of the most high-end hotels in Dongning City, Fanqing was not only expensive, it was excellent in every other aspect. Both service and food quality were impeccable. Hosting their son's Evolver celebration banquet here certainly gave them a lot of prestige. Uncle, you've arrived. Sit here, sit here. Is this your daughter? She has grown so much in the blink of an eye. Mr. Nian, please walk slowly, come inside. If it weren't for you back then, I don't know where I would be now. Lin Shouqing had been busy greeting guests at the entrance of the private room the whole time. Half an hour later, most of the guests had arrived. The family banquet officially began. Everyone started to sit down and enjoy the food and drinks. Lin Yuan sat in the seat of honor, and his chopsticks never stopped. Fanqing had become so big in Dongning City partly because it had strong backers, but also because of its own merits. Many of the ingredients in Fanqing were from other planets, and a lot of the meat was rare exotic beast meat, which had quality and flavor that far surpassed the locally farmed meat in Dongning City. Although the energy contained in these meats was not as much as in high-grade nutrient solutions, it was still better than ordinary meals, and Lin Yuan enjoyed eating it a lot. At the banquet, apart from Lin Yuan, everyone wasn't just focusing on eating. They mostly engaged in chatting and socializing. And among them, those who were doing well were definitely the most active. Lin Shouqing's distant cousin, Lin Jie, had seized an opportunity in Dongning City, purchased a few plots of land in the suburbs, which the government eventually developed, making him a large sum of money, truly a windfall. I tell you, I've met the owner of Fanqing several times. She's a woman, and it's said that. Lin Jie immediately began to show off his connections and knowledge. Yet his words indeed captured the attention of most people present. The owner of Fanqing had always been mysterious, scarcely seen by anyone, leaving everyone secretly guessing who the big shot might be. Right? Shouqing, what are your plans for Xiaoyuan in the future? After talking about the owner of Fanqing, Lin Jie suddenly turned his gaze to Lin Yuan, who was enjoying his meal. With these words, everyone's attention immediately turned towards Lin Yuan. After all, this family banquet was initiated on the pretext of Lin Yuan's development. And the fact that Lin Yuan had become an evolver was indeed beyond the relatives' expectations. Without mentioning anything else, just discussing Lin Yuan's future prospects, most of the relatives at the scene could only look up to him. I don't have any specific plans yet. I'll take it one step at a time. Lin Yuan was a bit startled, put down his chopsticks, and spoke honestly. This was indeed the truth as far as it went. Lin Yuan really didn't have any specific goals. If he had to say, it was to become as strong as possible, but saying this out loud was tantamount to saying nothing. Who doesn't want to become stronger? Why not come to my company? Though my company isn't big, I will offer you 20,000 a month if you join, Lin Jie said, patting his chest. 20,000 a month? The relatives around him immediately showed envious looks. 20,000 a month, that's 240,000 a year, which is considered a high salary. The normal salary for ordinary citizens is about 2,000 or 3,000 a month. How about it? Don't feel underwhelmed. Our company also employed an evolver who handles security. If you come, not only could you earn money every month, you could also learn about evolution from him, Lin Jie confidently said. For ordinary people, evolvers are extremely rare. But in the eyes of wealthy bosses, there are channels to specifically employ evolvers. Of course, those employed are only pre-stage evolvers. Higher stage evolvers aren't something small bosses like Lin Jie could afford. Even so, Lin Jie's speech significantly boosted his status in the eyes of the relatives present. Immediately someone inquired, Jie, is your company still hiring? My kid has been looking for a job recently. As for the salary, no need for 20,000, 5,000. 5,000 is enough. 5,000? Auntie, your son didn't graduate from any prestigious university. How dare he ask for 5,000? Jie, my daughter is pretty and has a good figure. She would definitely be a great fit for the front desk receptionist in your company. Unknowingly, Lin Jie replaced Lin Yuan and became the focal point of the banquet. And Lin Jie was very polite in his performance, happily smiling in the compliments from many relatives. Lin Yuan didn't mind at all and picked up his chopsticks again, continuing to eat while watching Lin Jie's performance. Despite Lin Jie's seemingly warm-hearted behavior now, acting as if everything was on him, he might play dead after the banquet ended. Just now, Lin Yuan had taken the opportunity to go online and roughly checked Lin Jie's financial status using his second-level citizen privileges. He did indeed own a company and had employed a pre-stage evolver. However, this pre-stage evolver had voluntarily resigned years ago. The reason was that Lin Jie had repeatedly docked his salary, which nearly escalated to the Evolvers Association. One could imagine Lin Jie might have once been wealthy, but his current financial situation was definitely not very good. How could he possibly hire an evolver again? Of course, Lin Yuan saw through it but didn't reveal it. Yet Lin Shouqing and Lu Qiong thought the other party was speaking the truth, occasionally chatting with Lin Jie, asking for details about the jobs. Just then, sitting in the main seat, Lin Hao suddenly spoke up. Yuan is still so young. Even if he has become an evolver, there's no need for him to enter the workforce so soon. As soon as Lin Hao spoke, the room fell silent immediately. Even Lin Jie, who had been talking up a storm, shut his mouth right away. Of all those attending the family dinner, the highest in status was undoubtedly Lin Hao. As the secretary of a certain bureau chief in Dongning City, Lin Hao's attendance at this family dinner even shocked Lin Shouqing. Brother Hao, what do you mean? Lin Shouqing asked in a low voice. Our bureau has a quota this year for further studies at a higher institution, which only evolvers can apply for. Lin Hao pondered for a moment before saying, here's the plan. Yuan can participate in the bureau's interview in a while. Once he joins, I will transfer the quota to him. As an evolver attending a higher institution, he would inevitably receive resources biased toward him, a treatment completely different from that of ordinary students. Therefore, this quota was absolutely coveted, and the few evolvers in Lin Hao's office were all eyeing it. However, it was Lin Hao who could make the decision. Although he was not an evolver himself, as the chief secretary, he managed several evolvers. Originally, Lin Hao had intended to save this opportunity for his own son. But his son was not competent. Despite having several evolvers coach him, he still had not become an evolver. It seemed the quota would fall into the hands of other evolvers in the office. Then he heard that a distant relative's family had produced an evolver? Lin Hao's thought was simple. Since his own family had no chance for the quota, he might as well give it to Lin Yuan. it was better than giving it to any of those evolvers in the office. At least in the future, Lin Yuan would remember his distant elder cousin's kindness. After all, no matter what, they were relatives. Ah, could that be very precious? Lin Shouqing was somewhat stunned. Although he was not an evolver, he understood the difficulty of obtaining a quota for advanced study at an institution. Yet ordinary people struggled immensely to get admitted into higher institutions, and because of Lin Hao's single statement, his own son could get in? No problem. Just listen to me when the time comes, Lin Hao said unconcernedly. Giving the quota to Lin Yuan was considered keeping the opportunity within the family. Who else could he blame when his own son was incompetent? Thinking this, Lin Hao glanced at his son sitting beside him. He had also brought his son to the family dinner this time. Thank you, Brother Hao, thank you. Feeling joyful inside, Lin Shouqing immediately stood up to thank him. Yuan, won't you thank your elder cousin? Lin Shouqing glared at Lin Yuan. Thank you, elder cousin. Lin Yuan spoke up. This was ultimately a kindness from his elder cousin, who would at least think of him when something good came up. Humph. Getting such a big opportunity and just saying thank you? Lin Yan, who had been sitting beside Lin Hao and hadn't spoken up until then, felt extremely upset. Logically, the quota should have been his, since he was Lin Hao's son. Who else deserved such a great opportunity? But there had been a hitch with becoming an evolver, and he had not managed to become one. Lin Yan had already prepared himself to see the quota go to someone else. But unexpectedly, his father decided to give it to a distant relative in the end. Thinking of Lin Yuan going to a higher institution, reaping what should have been his, made Lin Yan extremely uncomfortable. Damn fool, you're a failure yourself and you're blaming others. Lin Hao frowned tightly, staring at his son, almost slapping him there and then. Others hearing this, their expressions turned strange. This was clearly an internal issue within Lin Hao's family. Now that it involved Lin Shouqing's family, it turned into quite the drama. Lin Shouqing's face reddened slightly, at a loss for words. Normally, at this moment, he should have immediately spoken up to say his family did not need the quota, to ease the relationship between Lin Hao and his son. Only, Lin Shouqing couldn't bear to let go of the quota. The atmosphere at the scene became awkward for a while. Just then, an employee from Fanqing Grand Hotel suddenly burst in. With a slightly anxious expression, he said, "Excuse me, is Mr. Lin Yuan here?" This statement immediately broke the tension in the room. "He is here. What's the matter?" Lin Shouqing stepped forward to answer. The employee immediately said, "Someone wishes to visit Mr. Lin Yuan." This left Lin Shouqing puzzled for a while. Someone wanted to visit his son? Weren't all the people for the family dinner already here? Who could it be at this time? Chapter 29, Mr. Liao's Request. Who's looking for my son? Lin Shouqing stood up and asked. In his mind, he went over the guest list again. He confirmed that all the relatives who were supposed to be present had arrived, with no one missing. Could it be that a relative decided on a whim to come without informing them in advance? Lin Shouqing couldn't help but feel suspicious. It's Mr. Chu. Seeing this, the staff member let out a slight sigh of relief. They had no choice. Chu Corporation had been cooperating with Fanqing for many years. Just now, the founder of Chu Corporation personally arrived, saying he wanted to see Lin Yuan, which really startled her. Luckily, the person was indeed at their event. Mr. Chu. The guests at the family banquet were slightly stunned. Name Chu? That wasn't a Lin family name, was it? While everyone was privately discussing, a bearded man, accompanied by a 17 or 18-year-old youth, walked in. Though the bearded man was dressed simply, the natural air about him was unmistakably noble, very much like those in possession of power and prestige. Is he the founder of Chu Corporation? Someone at the event seemed to realize something and couldn't help exclaiming in surprise. In this era of interstellar advancement and widespread networks, the photos of any slightly famous citizen would be circulated online. Chu Corporation, being one of the top 50 enterprises in Dongning City, obviously had considerable fame, and even if its founder was low profile, it was impossible for no one to recognize him. The founder of Chu Corporation? My God, that's a big shot in our Dongning city. It's said that Chu Corporation has assets worth tens to hundreds of billions, and the founder is a well-known tycoon in the nearby cities. Such an important figure is here for Lin Yuan? Instantly, the crowd at the event started to buzz with talk, with some even connecting to the network right there to compare the bearded man in front of them with his photos online. Director Chu. Lin Jia rushed over in a swoosh, standing excitedly in front of the bearded man. We met 6 years ago, over that piece of land in the suburbs. It was bought by your corporation. The bearded man replied non-committally. In truth, he didn't remember Lin Jia at all. Mr. Lin is also here. The bearded man scanned the room, saw Lin Hao sitting at the main seat, and nodded in greeting. Then he quickly walked over to Lin Yuan, leading the 17 or 18-year-old youth behind him, who was Chu Xiu. Mr. Lin, this junior of mine was thoughtless. I hope you won't hold it against him. The bearded man was extremely humble in his approach, without showing any seniority. It's fine. Lin Yuan glanced at Chu Xiu who was standing beside him, looking very restrained, and immediately thought of the encounter at the coffee shop not long ago, shaking his head as he spoke. How did you find this place? Lin Yuan asked, curious. Today, I had planned to take Xiu to visit Mr. Lin at your home, but after we got there, we heard from others that Mr. Lin's family had come to the Fanqing Hotel for a family banquet, so we followed here. The bearded man spoke truthfully. I see. Lin Yuan nodded slightly. The family banquet hosted by his father, Lin Shuqing, was no secret. In their neighborhood, 6 or 7 out of 10 neighbors knew about it. This is a small token to congratulate Mr. Lin on becoming an evolver. The bearded man took out an envelope and handed it over with respect. His reverence was not for Lin Yuan's status as an evolver. Evolvers were rare but not unheard of, and even Chu Corporation employed a group of evolvers. What the bearded man truly feared was the favoritism the goddess of wisdom showed Lin Yuan, to the extent that searching for related information would trigger a warning from the goddess herself. Only a fool wouldn't realize that Lin Yuan was no ordinary person. At least no one would receive such a warning when searching for him, a corporate founder. I understand, Lin Yuan said without a care. He hadn't taken the incident that occurred at the coffee shop to heart. In fact, nothing much had happened. What Lin Yuan didn't realize was the huge stir his conversation with the bearded man had caused among the relatives present. Initially, upon recognizing the bearded man's identity, some had wondered if they had mistaken someone else for Lin Yuan. Perhaps the Mr. Lin Yuan that the bearded man was looking for merely shared the same name as the son of Lin Shuqing. After all, Lin Yuan had only just become an evolver. How could he possibly have such extensive connections to meet big figures like the bearded man? But it was only after the bearded man approached Lin Yuan in person, and the two had their conversation, that everyone realized there had been no mistake in identity. The founder they were looking for from the Chu Corporation was Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan. Lin Jia's expression was cloudy, then clear. A moment ago he was poised to give Lin Yuan an opportunity, ready to let him come and work for him. And he had grandly offered a monthly salary of 20,000 yuan. Yet before long, the founder of the Chu Corporation, whom even he could not look up to, stood before Lin Yuan with an extremely low posture. This nephew of mine, Lin Hao, sitting in the place of honor, fell into deep thought. In the eyes of others, the bearded man was a person of high status. But to Lin Hao, he was merely a businessman, at most a businessman on a larger scale. What surprised Lin Hao, however, was how could the bearded man, wealthy as he was, speak to Lin Yuan in such a tone. Thud, thud, thud. The door of the private room was knocked upon again. Is this Mr. Lin Yuan's private room? A voice full of vigor came through. Oh, someone else looking for Lin Yuan? With the precedent set by the bearded man, no one dared to take it lightly now, and Lin Shuqing personally stepped forward to open the door of the private room. Under everyone's watchful eyes, a man with a ramrod straight back walked in. Following him was a 17 or 18-year-old youth. It was Hua Qingyao. Who is this man? The people at the family banquet started to search online but couldn't find any relevant information. This time, he can't be someone important, right? Everyone breathed a slight sigh of relief. All were deeply shaken by the bearded man, thinking that Lin Yuan might have some terrifying identity. Now it seemed they might have been overthinking it. The bearded man's demeanor towards Lin Yuan must have been a coincidence. Just when everyone felt like their hearts could settle down, Lin Hao, who had been seated in the place of honor, and had to receive a bow from the bearded man, suddenly stood up. Major General Hua? Lin Hao's voice carried a hint of disbelief. Information about the military district was always confidential, and ordinary people without certain authorization couldn't easily find it online. But Lin Hao was different. As the secretary to the director, he had much greater access and knew more. Secretary Lin? Hu Yanming glanced at Lin Hao and nodded in acknowledgement. He then stepped aside, and another figure walked in leisurely. Mr. Liao. If seeing Hu Yanming was merely shocking for Lin Hao, after all, the military and government are separate systems, and neither can control the other. Then seeing the person behind Hu Yanming made Lin Hao's scalp tingle. Mr. Liao, the chairman of the Dongning City Evolvers Association. A second-level citizen in terms of status and position, capable of ranking in the top 5 in Dongning City. For such a personage, even Lin Hao's director would have to greet carefully and respectfully. Could it be? Mr. Liao is also here to see Xiaoyuan. An unfathomable thought suddenly surfaced in Lin Hao's mind. Chapter 30 The Second Shuttle. Lin Hao guessed correctly. Mr. Liao indeed came to find Lin Yuan. As for the purpose, it was naturally more than just congratulations. Lin Hao had sharp eyes. Upon hearing that Mr. Liao and Lin Yuan had important business to discuss, he immediately stood up and led the others out of the private room, leaving only Lin Yuan and Mr. Liao to talk. Lin Hao, being the secretary of the director, couldn't be pressured even by the status of Hu Yanming, a senior colonel in the military district. As for the others, naturally, none dared to object and they all left the private room. Inside the private room, Lin Yuan and Mr. Liao sat facing each other. Mr. Lin, I've come to you this time to ask for a favor, Mr. Liao said without beating around the bush. Please speak, Chairman. Lin Yuan spoke earnestly. The Chu family and the Hua family coming over, he could guess their intentions. But as for Mr. Liao, Lin Yuan was somewhat at a loss. First of all, the chairman of the Evolvers Association, with a civic rank of second layer and strength not far from Lin Yuan's, certainly wasn't weak. What could such a person possibly need from Lin Yuan? In another year, the Kanglan Star Arena battle will take place, and I would like to request Mr. Lin represent Dongning City in the competition, Mr. Liao said gravely. Arena battle? Lin Yuan was slightly taken aback. He quickly understood. The arena battle on Kanglan Star, and even within the entire Cosmic Human Alliance, was one of the most heated events. On the arena stage, 2 evolvers would fight to determine a champion. The whole process was broadcast live, incredibly exhilarating and thrilling, and hugely popular among the citizens. Why choose me? Lin Yuan asked casually. Because Mr. Lin is from Dongning City and younger than 100 years old, meeting the requirements for the star-level arena battle. Most importantly, Mr. Lin's strength is extremely close to second layer. Already standing among the strongest in Dongning City, could we choose those evolvers much weaker than Mr. Lin instead? Mr. Liao replied truthfully. The Kanglan Star Arena battle involved selecting evolvers from various major cities to compete and determine the strongest. Not to conceal from Mr. Lin, in the past few arena battles, our ranking in Dongning City has been quite unsightly. If this arena battle turns out like the previous ones, I might as well resign as chairman of the Evolvers Association. Mr. Liao's face showed a trace of bitterness. The Evolvers Association was responsible for managing and nurturing all local evolvers. If the evolvers from Dongning City were weak and performed poorly in the arena battles, he as the association chairman would naturally bear the primary responsibility. This was also one of the methods employed by the Cosmic Human Alliance to stimulate the potential of evolvers and guide more powerful evolvers to emerge. Of course, if one achieved a good ranking in the arena battle, like making it into the top 3,000, they would receive an official reward. I see. Lin Yuan suddenly understood. Rest easy, Mr. Lin. If you can make it into the top 5,000 in this arena battle, the Evolvers Association will provide 50 million civilization coins as a reward. Mr. Liao, fearing Lin Yuan might not agree, immediately promised. Based on previous iterations, approximately 10,000 evolvers would participate in the arena battle. Achieving a rank among the top 5,000 among 10,000 evolvers would be considered average. The main issue was that in past events they always ranked at the bottom. Mr. Liao was losing confidence. This time he wasn't aiming for the top 3,000 to receive the official reward, just hoping to stay within 5,000 to avoid penalties. 50 million? Lin Yuan's heart was slightly moved upon hearing this. No one would consider money superfluous, especially Lin Yuan who was desperately in need of it. Not to mention anything else, just the high-level nutrient solution alone was in great demand for Lin Yuan. The first time he returned through the door to the myriad realms, Lin Yuan used no less than 21 bottles of high-level nutrient solution to restore his full strength. How many bottles would he need for the next transit, and even more so when his strength increased? Perhaps he would need even more limited resources in addition to high-level nutrient solution. All these things required money. If he could have a 50 million payday, Lin Yuan's financial pressures would lessen for several years to come. All right, I'll consider it. Lin Yuan contemplated for a moment and then nodded. No problem, Mr. Liao said unconcernedly. Anyway, there's still a year until the arena battles, and there is plenty of time, so Mr. Liao isn't in a hurry for Lin Yuan to give an immediate response. Outside the private box, a large group of people are anxiously guessing and waiting. Shouqing, your son's future achievements will be boundless. Lin Hao looked at the nervous Lin Shouqing and sighed. As soon as he said this, the complexions of the relatives around them showed complex expressions. Originally, many of them had felt jealous of Lin Yuan, but now those feelings had taken flight. When the gap between two parties is too great to bridge, all envy and resentment become difficult to emerge. And now, Lin Yuan was a concrete example. Even the president of the Evolvers Association personally made a visit to discuss important matters with Lin Yuan, and anyone with a sound mind could deduce the implications of that. You scoundrel! Do you still have the face to stand here? With a glance, Lin Hao looked at his son, feeling a surge of anger. If it weren't for the last few words his son, Lin Yan, had said, just the act of planning to transfer the department spot to Lin Yuan could have won him considerable favor. But now, because of Lin Yan, even if the favor still existed, it was likely to be greatly diminished. Dad! Lin Yan said, his head hanging low. He had no idea that Lin Yuan would have such great influence, with major figures from the business world, the military, and even the president of the Evolvers Association coming in person to meet him. At that moment, Lin Yan's heart was still trembling, especially when Mr. Liao from the Evolvers Association clearly stated that he came to see Lin Yuan, which made his legs go weak. Half an hour later, Lin Yuan and Mr. Liao emerged from the private box. Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today.